Hello and welcome to the Tiny Human Knits podcast. My name is Laura and I'm coming to you from Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, where I live with my boyfriend, our cat, and our rabbit. You can find me pretty much everywhere online as Tiny Human Knits, and I will have links to all of my social media and everything else I talk about in the description box below this video. I keep trying to do fun little intro things and I'm very boring, so they're not working, so I'm just going to say hello and welcome, or welcome back. It is the 29th of October. I'm trying not to think about it too much. There are so many things. Has anyone else felt out? I've felt this entire year that I've been behind. Literally from the start of the year. I feel like I'm catching up, and I've never been able to quite catch up. And the fact that it is November on Friday is not making me feel any more caught up. But, this is going to sound stupid, but I did wrap some Christmas presents this morning. In my own defense, almost everyone I love lives very far away from me, so I have to prep Christmas presents quite a bit earlier. So, and some people have decided it's a good idea to have birthdays in November, so, you know, it is what it is. But that made me weirdly feel a little bit more prepared, even though, I've never felt immediate tangent. I've never felt like I've been behind on, Christmas things this year. It's just, the whole year. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, I'm feeling very frazzled this morning, and maybe that can come across a little bit. Anyway, I have 5 finished objects to show you today, just so I can clear them off my plate and put them where they need to be. But first, I will tell you, I am wearing, I am wearing the Foxberry. It is a pattern by Sari Nordland. I knit this, I want to say 2 years ago, and I knit it using 2 strands of Holst Super Soft held double, and I never wear it, and I thought I would wear it on the podcast and see how I felt about it, and I think it's going to be going into the donation pile. I'm going to find someone who wants it. Unfortunately, I might ask my sister Dana if she wants it, because I just recently sent her 2 of my other sweaters that I've knit in the past. My Friday tee, which I did knit long sleeve and took a million years doing, and my Saishodo sweater, which was a colorwork sweater that I knit last summer. Beautiful patterns, both of them. They did not fit me right. They fit her fantastically. Her shape is just anytime something's just a little bit funny on me but fits, size-wise, I can just send it to her now and be basically sure that it'll look really amazing on her. I'll have to see if she wants this one, because, yeah, the yarn might be a little scratchy for her, but she could always just wear a long sleeve underneath. But I don't like the way this fits me personally, and I'm not entirely sure about the color either. I love the color as itself, but on me I'm not entirely sure. But, yeah, I don't know. I have a real difficulty with round necks, but this one, it's so pretty that I would like it to go somewhere that, I can talk to the person who has it. Yeah, but it's a Sari Nordland pattern. It was a lot of fun. The baubles, the way that Sari Nordland writes baubles is basically how I knit baubles now in anything that calls for them, because it's just easy and it looks really tidy. But yeah, this will probably be the last time I wear this. I keep trying it. I don't love it, but that's okay. That's just me. But I thought I'd try it today just to see how we all felt. Okay, moving right along. I'm going to jump straight into my not works in progress. I actually don't really have any works in progress right now. I've got 2, but that's because I have a bunch of things that I need to cast on, but I'm really trying to finish a couple things first. But I do have 5 finished objects, and I will get into those. The first 2, as I usually start, are going to be socks, and these are my 2 newest colorways that will be going into my shop update this Thursday, so Halloween, at 1 p.m. Atlantic Daylight Savings Time. Sorry, the clocks change on Sunday, and I got very confused there for a second. But I have 2 new colorways going into the shop, and they are both over the garden wall themed. So the first one, I think I showed these last time as works in progress. The first one is We're Here to Burgle Your Turts, which is this one right here, and this is a Gregory themed colorway. And I knit my usual 64 stitches, well, my new usual 64 stitches, 24 rounds. I I was doing 25 rounds of 2x2 rib, but I just decided to do like almost all like the first 5 stripes, completely arbitrary, until I thought they were nice and long. A heel flap and gusset, wedge toe, the usual. And I knit them for a size like 8.5, 9 women's sizes basically, because I've got a few people in my life who wear socks this size and I can gift them when I'm over the shiny new sockness of them. So that's for here to burgle your turts. That'll go into my ridiculous pile of unworn socks. Oh, actually not quite yet. And then the second one, knit exactly the same way, is I whisper poetry to myself, and that is my worked colorway. And I love this one. This one to me, I'm not entirely sure why, but it has a real varsity feel to me. Probably just the color combination. So yeah, those two are going to be in the shop on Thursday, and I will have my usual DK 100 gram sock set with the mini skein and then 50 gram sock set with the mini skein. And yeah, 1 p.m. Atlantic Daylight Savings Time. And yes, I was going to have, or I was trying to have the Enoch bags in the shop as well, but they're proving very, very time consuming. I didn't really pay attention when I made mine originally because I was making it for fun. And I made it like while I was doing a bunch of other stuff. But they are very time consuming and they take so much material. So they're taking a little bit longer. So they'll have an update by themselves probably later in November. I'm planning on doing an update, a restock of my Nutcracker colorway in November as well. So I might just put those two together. That way, if you wanted either of them, I'm not entirely sure. So those are my 2 finished socks. I knit all of my socks on 2.25 millimeter needles. I am starting to lean more towards my Chiaogu 2.25s. I find my turn, because I do everything with Magic Loop sock-wise. I prefer it. I really like Magic Loop. But I'm finding that when I'm turning, when you do Magic Loop, with my Chiaogus, that they're a lot neater on the edges than they are with my Addies, and I think that's just because a lot of my Addies are really worn out and the cords are trash. So I'm thinking I'll probably end up buying and like reverting all to Chiaogus. I will say though, I find this a bit delicate, but I find when I'm really tired, they're kind of heavy, which is ridiculous because they barely weigh anything. But when I'm knitting socks with the Chiaogus, if I'm tired, they feel heavier. It makes me feel like such a delicate flower, but it's my observation. If anyone else has noticed that, please let me know. So my next finished object is a crochet finished object, and it is also a Christmas present. I've been hiding it in a box in my sewing room because it's for Jason, and he knows he's not supposed to go past a certain point in my sewing room, but I don't trust him at all. He has the mind of a sieve with like it just, he will forget if he's looking for something. So I just keep it in a box so just in case he does come in there, he won't see it. So I hope you'll be able to see this properly. But I finished my little alien. It's a bit lumpy because I've had it in a box, and I've just accepted the fact that it's going to be a little bit lumpy. And here's his little cow. So cute. I will say, compared to the pictures in the pattern, mine is a little lopsided, I will admit. But also I think that adds to the charm. So inside here, this is a pattern by Lally Lala, and I bought the kit for this off of their Etsy shop. And it is absolutely divine. I think I said this last time, everything about this kit, the pattern, perfect. It's so easy to follow. It's very tidy. The way that they do things has actually, I started working on another crochet amigurumi project immediately after I finished this. And it's so much easier to do that one now. I had started this earlier, and coming back to it, I feel like I'm way more proficient when it comes to amigurumi. So this, it's tedious, it's fiddly, there's a lot of stuff going on, but it made me a better, like, tiny thing crocheter. And it's just cute. It's so stupid. But yeah, so the kit came with all of the filling, the all the yarn, the little haberdashery that you need for it, the cone, and then also inside, attached to this green cord, there is a music box inside here that plays like a jewelry box version of the X-Files theme song, which is just delightful. It's funny, as I was finishing it up, I'm like thinking to myself, you know, Jason is nearly a 40-year-old man. This is one of the stupidest gifts you could ever make, but I still think he'll get a kick out of it. So silly. So yeah, I believe I used a 3.25 millimeter hook and then a 2mm hook for all of my everythings. And I just think it's so cute. And it's very, like I said, it's very clear. The instructions are foolproof. I'm not a very seasoned crocheter at all, but it was very, very easy to figure it out. And it's so cute and so lumpy. I have no idea where it's gonna go in this house. It might go in his garage, I have no idea. He's very excited. His garage has just recently been, had electricity added to it, so it's got lights. It's very fancy. I need to pull out some of these little fibers that are coming out of him. But yeah, the cow is just so cute. But yeah, so that is finished. I'm going to put it in its box, and I'm probably just going to wrap up the box and then set it aside. I've got most of his Christmas gifts sorted. And one of them is I got a replica of the I Want to Believe poster from the X-Files. And I'll probably put that in a frame and give that to him as well, because he wanted one for his garage. Jason's really into aliens. But yeah, this was very silly, but I would highly recommend. I'm very much, if I ever want to do another thing like this, I would very much look into the Lally Lala kits, because again, they're just fantastic. They're really good. Can recommend. And yeah, it's mostly the yarn that they send you. You can buy just the pattern, and you can buy the yarn yourself if you've got a place that you can buy that kind of stuff from. I'm not really close to anything that sells that particular type of yarn, but it's mostly like Scapious Katona and stuff like that. So you could very easily just replace a bunch of the yarn types, as long as it looks the same. It doesn't matter. Okay. There are 2 other finished objects that I have, and they are both quilts. I sent these quilts off to my mother-in-law. She is a long arm quilter, which is, I'm so spoiled. I say this every time. I want to appreciate every moment that I have someone I can just send them to. I do pay her for them, but there's just an ease of sending them to someone you know that I really like. And she doesn't charge me full price. But I sent these off to her in February, and I didn't really have a timeline for them for her to send them back, because I don't ever want to try to take her time away from her. So, 2 quilts that I got back. I'll show you the not less exciting, but yeah, kind of less exciting version first. So, I'm not going to be able to show you. I might be able to put in like a picture of the full size. My computer might explode if I do that. My desktop is going to launch itself into space here soon. I can't really do much editing in my videos anymore because my computer will just shut down. I'm pretty sure Jason's going to get me a laptop for Christmas. But anyway, so I'm going to try and put a picture up here somewheres of the full quilt. But I'll just show you a little bit of it. Just an edge, really. This pattern is called the Meteor Shower, and I am completely blanking on the designer name. I will put all of the links to everything in the description box. And I've had this cut out for a couple years now. I've said this before, but I have a tendency to cut out a bunch of quilts in one go when I'm in the mood for it, and then I'll put them in bins, and then when I'm wanting to just sew together a quilt, I'll just pick one, which is so nice. But I cut this out ages ago. I'm pretty sure... No, I'm not. I was going to say I'm pretty sure I know where I bought this fabric. I have no idea. Yeah. Very good. Very good. But this is like the most Christmassy quilt that I now have, and I'm really excited because I really like seasonal quilts. I have a lot of quilts in my house. But I never give instructions for what quilting patterns to quilt my quilts with. I just let my mother-in-law choose whatever she wants, and she always picks the best patterns. But, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but the actual quilting pattern, easier to see on the back, is snowflakes and holly, I think. Here's a snowflake, and there's like, ugh. It also smells really good, because I always stick my quilts right in the washer when I'm finished. I'm also really happy with the color of the binding that I chose. And I always hand sew my binding down on the back because I really enjoy myself when I do that. It's so therapeutic for me. I really enjoy it. I would do that all day. But yeah, and hopefully I'll be able to put in a whole picture because wow, do I have a hard time with my editing software. But yeah, it's super nice. It's just got, like I said, the plain sort of speckled background. When I usually get my backing fabrics from, I have a fuzz in my eyeball. I buy them from either Fat Quarter Shop, which is an online store in the United States, and they've got a really good selection of fabrics that are quite affordable quilting wise. There's Fat Quarter Shop, and then where else do I buy stuff from? Missouri Quilt Co., I think. Those are really good for like backing fabrics, because for me, backing fabrics don't have to be too fancy. And if you get them in the backing size, which is what I usually try to do, you don't have to piece your backing together. That's all. So my last finished object, and this thing is just an absolute delight. I love this quilt so much. I posted about it on my Instagram story and I got a lot of comments from people about how nice it is, and it is. I really, really like it. But this is a pattern, a quilt pattern called the Goodnight Garden Quilt. Again, completely blanking on the designer's name. I will put that in the description below. But this one is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So this, I completely ripped off the color scheme because I saw the pattern picture and was like, you can't improve on that, it's beautiful. So I just kept it as it was and just tried to pick fabrics from inside my stash, which I think I did a pretty good job of it. And I really, really like it. So it is a diagonal quilt, so you make the blocks. Each of these is its own block. And when you sew them together, you actually cut it in a way where you sort of, what am I trying to say? You tilt it. You basically just tilt it 45 degrees and it's beautiful. But I sewed this together, like I said, in February, and I tried very hard with this particular quilt to take my time to press everything really well, to make sure all of my corners matched up really nicely, because I have a tendency with, if I'm making a quilt that has like the same block over and over, you can do chain piecing, so you can sew all your pieces in a chain. And I can get a little bit messy when it comes to doing that, or like a little bit careless. And with this one, I knew I wanted all my edges because the way everything meets up, I wanted all of my points to be very, very tidy. So that's a point in a corner, and to have everything just meet up really nicely. So yeah, I did each of these blocks one at a time, very carefully, because I wanted it to be very tidy. And I think I did pretty good. And then after you quilt it, you trim down all the edges and you actually do these curved edges, which are just, they make the quilt look so like soft and gentle. And I think it is beautiful. I really, really love this pattern. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it because I don't know where I would keep this. My house is, I know I've said this before, my house is very small. So I make quilts a lot of times for the fun of it. So I don't know if this is going to be one that I keep. It is absolutely stunning and I kind of want to keep it, but I would like it to have a life where it's used. I know I would use it, but again, like I've got so many quilts, like I can't just keep everything. But there is a small chance that eventually, probably not this year, but eventually this quilt might be gifted. Which already makes me sad, even though I haven't decided yet. It's ridiculous. But, yeah. And I should say, there's nothing about this quilt that's, like, overly complicated. It is still mostly straight line quilting. The only thing I would say is to be just very, very careful with your pressing. That's the best thing you can do with any quilting project, is to press very carefully, cut very carefully, and just take your time. If you're rushing, it will show. But there's nothing overly complicated about this quilt. There's nothing in here that is more complicated than any other quilt. Like, you could do basically just a, 5-inch block rag quilt thing, and it's not much more complicated than that. Anyways, good night garden. It's beautiful. I don't think my mother-in-law has any other of my quilts. I think I'm pretty much caught up with what I've sent her. I have, I think, 6 quilt tops that haven't been quilted yet because I hate doing it. It's not my fault. It's very boring. Yeah, it's not my favorite. Anyway, so I'll get to them eventually. There are a couple I'd like to hand quilt because I just really like the soft, squishy nature of that, but also I don't have time for that, so they'll get done eventually. Or I'll die and they'll be sent off to somewhere to get finished and kept by somebody else. I'll have to leave a note somewhere about that. No, just in case I die, just gift it to a quilter and they'll finish it. Don't worry. Because I have this giant bin with finished quilt tops with their backing, like, together, so, like, they're already set up. You know how it is. Okay, I have 3 works in progress. I think 3, yeah. 3 works in progress that I'm actively working on at the moment. I have a couple things that I really need to cast on soon here, because, like I said, everything I knit and make for Christmas needs to be mailed off, so it needs to be done earlier than, Christmas Day. But the one thing I'm mainly working on, and I'm actually kind of surprised, I didn't expect myself to work on this one as much as I have done, but I'm very happy with how it's going on. But I have been working pretty consistently on my Travel Mode Baby Blanket by Susanne Sommer, or So Sue Knits, and I'm actually not that far from being finished. I'm on the last section of the 3rd quarter. I've got maybe 12 rows left in that. And it's so easy to knit because it's basically all garter with some increases, decreases, and what have you. And it's so tidy on the back. Oh, delightful. So yeah, I'll finish this section and then I'll do the second section like this here. Oh, jeepers, come on. Another one of those. And then I'm just finishing the last quarter and then doing an I-cord and then I'm finished. And yeah, this one is for my nephew Callum. His big brother Axton got one last year, and so he's gonna get his own now for Christmas. And I'm not that far from being finished. Like, one day, my friend Laura came by and I finished almost an entire smaller section and triangle. So really I could finish this in 2 days if I really wanted to. But I'm just working on it after I'm finished work. But I'm so close to being finished, which is actually really exciting because that's basically all the Christmas gifts for them finished. And I'm using Durum Natura Gilead for all of my colors. It's what the pattern uses as well. And I had all of these just in my stash because I used to just buy Gilead really randomly. I think I have most of the colors listed in my Ravelry page for it. I think maybe one of them didn't have a band, but you could figure it out by looking at the Gilead on any online shop. And I'm knitting that with a 5mm needle. And it's just nice because it's just garter stitch. It's kind of chunky yarn, big needles. And it's for a baby. And it's getting quite a bit of yarn out of my stash, which I have enhanced a little bit lately. I put in a Knit Picks order and it's mostly for Christmas gifts next year, which is so stupid. I need to stop doing that. I spend so much of my time making things for other people that I overwhelm myself, which is like you're doing it to yourself? What's the problem here? I don't know. All right, 2 more works in progress. My first one will come as no surprise. It's a sock sample for a new colorway. And this one, I actually haven't named it yet. I've got a couple names in my head, but I haven't quite solidified it yet. This is the new holiday colorway. And like I said to my cousin, I'm not reinventing the wheel with this one, but I think it's really pretty. And I'm just on the heel flap right now. And I'm literally that far on the heel flap because my cat sat on me earlier today and I couldn't pick up my blanket, so I worked on a little bit of a heel. And yeah, I just really like it. It's very classic. Got that on my Chiaogus. And I'm not going to go through my numbers again because I said that twice already. And that's in my Enoch bag. Of which, I will just say now, I am in the process of making more. Here's the face of another one. This is what they'll all look like, actually. There's a few differences between mine and the ones I'm making for the shop, but it's mostly just a background fabric, but I am working on them. They take a long time. Long time. The last thing I'm working on, and just to sort of fill out the episode, I am making another amigurumi project. I actually started this quite a while ago. I sort of abandoned it for other things, but I'm working on it slowly now. He doesn't really look like much at the moment, but I am knitting a nutcracker amigurumi. If I can, I will put in a photo here. If I can. If this doesn't go up, it means my computer exploded. But I am making this out of my Nutcracker colorways leftovers from my Leon sweater that I knit earlier this year. Some of them I'll have to fill in with other yarns because I don't think I'll have enough of each colorway for what I want to use it for. But so far, this is what I've got. I also have one arm and one most arm. Almost finished. So these will both get little frilly cap things before they're sewn onto the side of the body. And it's just so cute, so silly, so ridiculous. So yeah, there are quite a few, there's fluff coming out of him. There's quite a few things I still need to make for him. I need to make his eyebrows, his mustache, his hair, his hat, his boots, his belt, and is there anything else? Like embroidery stuff. So there's still loads left to do, but I'm just sort of keeping it on my desk, in my sewing room, and I'm just, every once in a while when I really get the urge just to do little crochet, I just pick him up and work on him a little bit. He's got a piece of cardboard on his bottom, so he stands up very nicely. And the whole thing, it's another really good pattern. Because I'm using, this is a superwash merino nylon fingering weight, he's definitely a lot softer than he would be if he was made of cotton, but it's dense enough that I think it works out just fine. I'm using a 2.1 millimeter needle for this. So it's working all right. And yeah, like I said, knitting or crocheting that little UFO has really made me more comfortable with basically every technique that these things use, because pretty much every technique was used. So it's really comfortable getting comfortable with that. So practice makes perfect. Isn't that annoying? But yeah, that's why I always say when people want to learn a new skill, I always encourage people to do something that it's probably not completely beginner friendly, because I always just feel like you'll learn everything way faster, because then you're not just repeating all the really basic things first, you're actually learning all these new skills at once. Anyway, that's my last work in progress. And now, so after this is not gonna have to be finished. I'm not holding myself to that. I would love to have it finished before Christmas, but I don't care if it's not finished before then. He does not have a timeline. But my socks, they're always on the work, so I can just do them whenever I feel like it. But as soon as I'm done the baby blanket, I'm going to be casting on the last baby sweater or child sweater for my cousin Kayla. And that one, I think I might cast that one on Thursday, because it is supposed to be 22 degrees here on Thursday, so Halloween day. 22 degrees, which is wild. It snowed last year. And it's been cold. Like, it's been getting down to -7 overnight. But yeah, we're supposed to be 22 degrees and like partially sunny. So I might take that whole day off, cast on that sweater, and park myself on the deck as like the last nice day of the year and just work on that all day. We'll see if I actually get around to that, but that's kind of my plan. And then the things I need to cast on, I need to cast on the baby suit, which I don't think that'll take too long. But, and then I've added another thing to my list. It's ridiculous. But I'm going to be making another baby sweater in like a fluorescent orange that I've dyed. And then I'm going to be making a pinafore. It's for a friend of Jason's, who they usually make it here every Christmas, but they're not going to be able to make it this year because there's some health issues in the family. So I'm going to be sending some pairs of socks and just the silliest baby outfit. I wouldn't be half surprised if I was able to show that to you next time, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna go do that, and I'm gonna go continue cutting out Enoch faces because they have to be cut out by hand individually, and I've been doing that for the last 2 days. So I'm going to finish this up, go cut out some felt with scissors, have a great time. So I will see you all next time. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.